Well, it's that time of the year again. No, I'm not talking about Christmas. I'm actually talking about New Year's resolutions. And my friends, listen, don't even waste your time. Don't even bother, because the majority of resolutions fail probably within the month of January. I'm going to give you 8 reasons why they fail. But before I even go there, let me just say that the decision or the thought to make these resolutions is noble. It's a great idea. We want to have change. We have expectation. We have hope that because a new year is upon us, then we are going to make changes in our lives. And somehow we are fooled into thinking that because the calendar flipped over and we stayed up till midnight and counted down, and probably were with friends and family, that somehow this year is going to be much different, right, than last year. But the reality is it probably won't be unless you put a few things in place. So here's what I want to do. I want to actually give you some strategies to help you achieve goals and objectives, which I believe are much better, by the way, than New Year's resolutions. So please don't just go get that gym membership or buy the latest equipment for your house that you're not going to use ever again, or at least you'll try it a couple of times and then it just gets to collect dust like everything else in the basement. So let's go over this. Great idea, great notion. Number one, why do they fail? Let me give you some quick reasons. Number one, they're probably based on emotional decisions, either very high or very low. Either you're at a great high point in your life and you want to capture some momentum, or you're really, really down and you want some sort of traction. Number two, they're probably done in the spur of the moment. You're having a conversation, you're having a bad moment, or all of a sudden you saw some video on Instagram and you're like, I want to do that. My friends, that's wishful thinking, and it is not based on determination or actual inspiration. Number three, they're simply not backed up by a solid strategic plan. In other words, they're just not well thought out. And the things that are not well thought out are not going to last very, very long. Number four, they also lack a clear-cut goal or objective. Here's one of my philosophies, that what gets measured gets done. For example, the easiest thing for me to pick on is people say, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. Oh, okay. And how long is that going to take you to lose 50 pounds? Is there an action plan? Are there measurements? Are you planning to lose 1 to 3 pounds a week? And because these goals are not in place, people don't get results. And when they don't get results, they don't get momentum. And when they don't get momentum, they usually quit because it's too hard. Number five, there is no accountability attached to it. So what if you don't make it? What if you don't go to the gym? What if you don't skip that meal? What if you don't not go shopping? I don't know, whatever your resolution may be. What's the accountability that's built into it? Is there any? Because if there's no pain, there'll probably be no gain. Number six, there's probably no timetable attached to it. Is it in a month? Is it in 3 months? Is it in 6 months? Is it in 9 months? Where will you be in a year? Number seven, there has to be consequences and rewards. This one's probably closely tied to accountability, but how are you going to celebrate when you meet certain milestones? You know, somebody once said, how do I eat an elephant? One bite at a time. What are the victories? What are the rewards? What are the celebrations that are built into it? And then what are the consequences? What price are you going to pay if you happen to miss it? Number eight, they're usually filled with excuses. It is so easy to say, I will start tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow's another day. Oh, next week, which great, but usually that's not going to help. So what do we do? How do we not waste our time? How do we ensure that we can gain traction and achieve our goals? So goals, objectives, I like to call them the rocks. The rocks are big, they're heavy, they're established. What are the 3 to 5 rocks that you are going to carry throughout the year? And then we're going to build a plan around it. Number one, I talked about pain or gain. So real change is based on 2 really strong emotions. I either have to feel really angry and disgusted with myself, which will motivate me to change, or I have to see the benefit. I really have to see the carrot or the gold, the pot of gold. They talk about the pot of gold. In other words, what's in it for me? What's in it for this change in order for me to give it time, money, energy, and what have you? Number two, you have to be real. What do I mean by that? Listen, it took you a long time probably to get to the place that you are at right now. You're not going to change in a week. You're not going to change in 2 weeks or in 4 weeks. It's going to have to take some realistic time that you are going to have to outline. These are those little checkpoints that I want you to look at. Maybe it is weekly. Maybe it's monthly. Maybe it's every 3 months. What are those key points and those key measurements that you're looking at? Number three is measurements. And by the way, measurements really have to be realistic. You're better to create smaller, realistic measurements and achieve them so that you gain that momentum and that you gain that traction and confidence than overwhelming yourself with things that are simply unrealistic and unachievable. Number four, there has to be accountability. Are there people in your life? Are there people in your life that can keep you on track, that will ask you, hey, did you go to the gym? Did you do what you said you were going to do? Are you where you said you would be on your plan? Sometimes, something as little as a Fitbit can actually create accountability. Did I walk my 10,000 steps today? You need to create this into your plan so that you're not going to fail. Number five to me are the wins. What are the wins and how are you going to celebrate? Change is hard because usually it means we have to give up things and we have to be sacrificial and we're changing behaviors. And that is very, very difficult to do because we want to go back to a life that was easy and comfortable and maybe eating ice cream and chocolate cake or whatever it may be. So somewhere along the way, there has to be wins. There has to be celebrations, whatever they may be, as long as those wins and celebrations don't take you off track. That's the worst thing you can do. Celebrate, get right back on it. Number six, coaching. Coaching, my friends, do not underestimate the power and effectiveness of professional coaches. Maybe you have the money to invest in your own life and in your own development. And if you do, I applaud you. It is one of the greatest things that you can do. Maybe you need a trainer. Maybe you need a leadership coach. Maybe you need a life coach. I'm not talking about a confidant. I'm not talking about a mentor. I'm actually talking about a real, honest to goodness coach that knows how to bring the best out of you. And it may take a little bit of investment. I guarantee you they will push you harder, draw more from you. You will achieve a greater potential. You need to do some research here because you want to make sure you're just not throwing money to the wind. You want to get true, reliable people. And then number seven, and perhaps this is the greatest one of all. You need to be your greatest cheerleader. You need to be your greatest voice, whether you're feeling down or you're feeling up, that you are encouraging yourself every single day. Somebody said if you are consistent, you actually don't need motivation. But the truth is you need motivation to start. You need some inspiration to start. And so listen, there is a lot of negativity. You're going to have a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of negative self-talk and all kinds of people and situations that are speaking to you in a downward fashion. My friends, listen, as a leader, as an individual, learn how to coach yourself in some ways, learn how to encourage yourself, learn how to pick yourself up when it looks like, it's time to give up or I want to quit. When that emotion hits you in the second week or the third week of January, push through. Don't give in to that thing. Don't give up. You can do it. If you've put these things in place, I guarantee you, forget those resolutions, I guarantee you that come September, October, you are going to see great value, great progress, and you are going to be happy and you're going to be proud of yourself for for the changes that you've made. I'm Dr. Tony Soldano, and thank you for joining me today.